All right, Vince, we're here with Vince Anello, five-time world powerlifting champion, holder of multiple world record holders, and I really am glad to have you on here and really appreciate the opportunity, Vince.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So let's get into a little bit. How did you get started lifting?
Okay, I started lifting, Josh, actually when I was in third grade
Okay,
because I was bullied when I was in elementary school. I was a short little fat kid. I was a short little fat kid, and so what I did before my parents got me a weight set, I went in the woods. I would put some bricks on a rusty bar and started lifting.
okay,
And that was in third grade. I never stopped.
awesome. And
And
how?
actually, one of my clients is gonna get me wants me to go to different schools and talk about bullying.
That'd be great.
Actually, bullying helped me to achieve what I did. So God bless the bullies.
Sort of like you're like what was a sort of a bad situation, kind of you're grateful for because it brought you to where you are now.
Yeah, being bullied got me to started training and got me, into winning my world titles and that,
So let's talk about
and,
a little bit.
and helping other people.
Awesome. So with your world titles and stuff, what are some of your best lifts in the meets and in the gym for people that don't? I mean, a lot of people are going to know you're the first person under 200 or under 198 or one.
Under 200 pounds. I was the first person
Okay.
under 200 pounds, and to deadlift 800.
Yeah. And then so it was 821 was your best at 198.
821, correct, in official, correct.
And then the word on the street is you pulled an 880 in training because someone misloaded the bar and you thought it was 820.
Yeah, we misloaded the bar back in 1978, I believe. Back in 1978, I was training at Vince's gym there, and we misloaded the bar. No, 1976. I'm sorry.
Okay.
1976. I thought it was 820. I thought, man, this one hard. Actually, we uh, weighed the bar and everything, and weighed all the way. It was 880.
Wow. And so
If I
what?
didn't know what it was, I wouldn't have done it. Probably. I don't know.
So then the thing that's interesting though is you weren't just a great deadlifter that kind of like didn't do anything in other lifts. You actually bench pressed in the neighborhood of 500, squatted 750 ish. I mean,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
so tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. My best bench was a little over 500 pounds, and squat was 750.
Wow.
Yeah. But my best. I was always behind going into the deadlift most of the time, and then I would take what I needed to win in the deadlift. Generally won.
So a lot of what you did and a lot of the success is because of the mental training techniques, right?
Oh yes, psychology was my minor in college, and I studied various techniques: transcendental meditation, neuro linguistic programming, silver mind training. Right now I'm getting into dynamic spin release, which I sent you a tape.
Awesome. I'm going to listen to it. So tell what were some of the techniques you were talking about using and stuff? You said you were going to try something on me or something.
Oh yes, a mental training technique.
And what's
I
this
use.
called?
It's called. I put you in a relaxed state, and I install a trigger.
Okay.
Have you access your best lift?
Okay. Can we do it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna put you in a relaxed state first.
Yep.
Inhale for the count of 3. Exhale for the count of 6. Inhale for the count of 3. Exhale for the count of 6. As you inhale, think relax. As you exhale, think deep relax. You're starting to feel very relaxed. I want you now to visualize a wave of relaxation washing down your body. It's going through your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms. Going through your arms into your torso, through your torso into your hips, through your hips to your legs, washing all the tension into your feet and into the earth as you become very relaxed. You're now at the bottom of an escalator. This escalator is going up into the clouds. As you easily step on the escalator, you feel your body going up and up, higher and higher, more and more relaxed, going up higher and higher, more and more relaxed. You go up, up, up your escalator, going up higher and higher. As you near the top, you see a nice soft white cloud. As you easily step off onto the cloud, you feel your body floating in the air. You're floating, floating, floating in your cloud. All your cares, all your worries are floating out of your body as you effortlessly float, float, float on your cloud. Enjoy the pleasant feeling. Okay, it's time to come down off your cloud, time to come down. As you easily step back on your escalator, you feel your body going down and down, deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. You're going down and down, deeper and deeper, more and more relaxed. You go down, down, down your escalator, going down and down. As you near the bottom, you see a neon sign with the word relax flashing on and off. Relax, relax, relax. I'm going to now count from 10 to 1. When I reach 1, you'll be in an extremely relaxed state. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very, very relaxed now, very relaxed. Whenever you wish to re-enter this relaxed state, put your thumb and forefinger together of your left hand. When you do so, you will fall in a relaxed state. But make sure you are not driving or doing anything that requires your attention. I want you now to think of your best performance in any of the 3 lifts. Think of your best performance when you were performing at your best, when you achieved your best. Now, bring into your consciousness anything you saw. What are the sights you saw when you were achieving your best? See yourself lifting your best. See yourself. What did you see? Your technique. The judges, the people around you, anything that was present visually. Bring that now into your consciousness when you were achieving your best. Now, bring it to your consciousness that you heard. What are the sounds you heard when you were achieving your best? Background noise. What other people were saying to you and each other. And what were you saying when you were achieving your best? What was your internal dialogue? What were you saying to yourself when you were doing your best? Now, fully associate yourself and feel yourself doing your best. Actually feel yourself when you are doing your best. Feel yourself in the zone and doing your best. When you can actually feel it. Clench the fist of your right hand. Very good. Release your right hand. This now is your homework. When you go to bed at night, before you go to sleep, clench that right fist and actually feel your best performance. When you wake up in the morning before you get out of bed, clench that right fist again and feel your best performance. And during your workouts and training, clench that right fist and actually feel your best performance. Feel it, feel it. And when you're competing, actually do the same thing. Clench that right fist and access the peak performance. Okay. I'm going to now count from 1 to 10. When I reach 10, you're going to open your eyes, feel very refreshed but full of energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open your eyes. Were you able to do that?
What's that?
Were you able to do that?
I was able to do it. It was awesome.
Good. Again, before you go to bed, you want to instill the positive mindset in your mind.
And does this apply just to lifting or anything? Like if you're not
Oh,
no.
it applies to everything, anything. Success in anything, Josh, is the mind in any endeavor. Any sport, any endeavor, any business, anything you're trying to achieve. Success is mental.
Just getting back to that state again.
You've got to get to the back of that positive state of mind.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was weird because I even recall the music I had in my headphones before I went up to do the lift and stuff. I mean, that I hadn't thought about.
Oh, speaking of that, when I was in Turku, Finland, they were playing. They were playing Disco Inferno.
Oh, really?
That's Disco Inferno, and that still is instilled in my mind. And when I hear Disco Inferno, I get psyched up.
Well, mine was I was hearing the first time I benched 600, that song "Get Rhythm When You Get the Blues" by Johnny Cash. That was playing. And I just every time I hear that, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, it's still in your mind, and
it's an anchor.
it's an anchor, or anchor or trigger or whatever.
I got the NLP background, so I keep calling it an anchor. That's
Yeah, anchor. Yeah.
Funny, a hypnotist I trained with calls it a bridge. He didn't like the term anchor. He says because an anchor weights you down, where a bridge kind of builds a bridge to do something great.
No, it's still a term. It's a term, but it's still the same thing.
Totally.
I think. Yeah, it's just a different term, but it's still the same thing.
So I want to hear the story about you deadlifting 800 the first time, and apparently Bob Peoples was in the crowd or something.
Oh yeah, the Bob Peoples, who was a hero of mine.
Yeah.
I have his book, by the way. He was the first person under 200 pounds to deadlift 700.
Yeah.
He did that in 1947, the year I was born. And after I deadlifted 800 in 1975, he came out of the audience. I was in York, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He came out of the audience to congratulate me. I said, "Bob, I got to get your picture." I went and tried to find my camera, and then I came back and I couldn't find it because I got sidetracked. Everybody's congratulating me and all that. But if I could have got a picture with Bob Peoples, that would have been tremendous.
And you did a lot of similar training because he did the accentuated deadlifts, negative accentuated deadlift.
Negative accentuated dead. I would take the bar off the power rack and do a slow negative, and then stop, do the pull. You could see that in the video that I was in Perth, Australia. I was simulating a negative before I pulled.
Yeah, because that's just how you train. So it was like that was embedded into your consciousness, basically.
Actually, it's a better way because you tense your body. Your whole body is tense before the pull.
It would make sense on the also like why your physique was so muscular because you get all that eccentric work in, and a lot of studies show how important that is to building muscle too.
Like a lot of my clients, when you're training, you have to concentrate on all three forms of contraction: the positive, the isometric hold, and the negative. All three forms of contraction. Most people when they train, they negate 2/3 of the benefit, of the lift. But you got to concentrate on all three forms of contraction: the positive, the isometric hold, and the negative. We did negative. We did also on the power racks. We did isometric holds too. I would drive it up to the put a pin at the knee and drive it up to the pole to the pin and do an isometric hold.
Really?
Oh yeah, that would.
I love those. I did not know you did that though.
Oh yeah, that would help my start. I did. We call it ankle deadlifts. I would bring it down to the top of the foot and then drive it up to the knee and hold it there off a pin, and that would help my start. Yeah.
How long do you hold it for?
Oh, about 6 seconds.
Okay. What I've had people do like a lot with that is do this, something similar to go like you do it at your sticking point, say.
Yeah.
For 5 to 6 seconds, and then you rest a little bit. Then you do a full range of motion deadlift, like a sub-maximal weight, real explosively. Then go back to the isometric. But that's
that's the way of doing it. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, I knew about the negatives, but I did not know about that. Okay.
Yeah. I just I haven't trained for myself powerlifting for so many years, and the memories just come back.
And when did you retire from powerlifting?
Oh gosh. My last meet, I think, was in 1996, I believe. And
okay.
I was starting to feel the pain, and.
So you were right about 50 when you stopped?
Yeah.
When
I
were
thought
when were you at your strongest then?
I was at my strongest in the late 70s, 77, 78, and 80. That was my peak years.
One thing that's interesting about you is we've talked, earlier about you were always a big proponent of building up the whole body, not just doing the bench, squat, and deadlift.
Oh yeah, I do that to all my athletes. All my athletes that I train, we work the entire body from all angles. It's like a building. If part of the building is weak, it's going to fall in.
Absolutely.
You have to work the body from all angles. You know,
And
the
did you
muscle from.
did you train with any like other elite powerlifters when you were at your prime, or no?
Yeah, I trained at Black's Health World, which we Jack Sedaris. He was a great lifter. I trained with Duke Ramwitz. He was a great lifter. Jim Finch. He was a great lifter. I trained so many places. I trail. A gym. My best training was in a basement with 4 or 5 crazy guys and
Yeah.
a power rack. You know,
How was Black's Health World?
oh, it was nice. It was I trained at Vince's gym. I started at Vince's gym, and then Vince got lymphoma and he died. So yeah.
And that Vince is someone you sounds like you learned a lot from, huh?
He started me into powerlifting
Okay.
in the late 80s.
Late 60s.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm sorry, late 60s. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
See, Josh, when you get so old, it's hard to remember. Yeah, in the late 60s, yes.
Cool. So what about what were some of your favorite assistance exercises for deadlift besides the isometrics and the rack pulls and things like that?
Rack pull. I did partials. We did partials. I did below the knee. I did 950.
Okay.
At the knee, I did 1,050. And I worked the lats a lot. Did a lot of lat work. That helped the pull, I believe.
Definitely.
Because then again, when you start to pull, you got to tense those lats too. You got to tense the whole
Yeah.
body. Lower back training. We did a lot of lower back training. Worked the entire body at different angles. Everything.
And the squats and deadlifts are on the same day.
Yeah, because the reason a lot of people say you can't train them on the same day, but you have to lift in the same day. If you don't do them on the same day, you won't be able to be the best, in the same day. A lot of people squat and deadlift on different days, but you got to deadlift and squat in a meet on the same day.
Well, if you have
So
the work capacity, you can certainly do it, huh?
You got to train for that.
You got build up to it, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then you said you deadlift like every 10 days or so?
Around every 10 days. The stronger you get, the more rest you need.
I'm with you because it seems like, like some people like to say otherwise as an athlete advances, but you become so neurally efficient that you burn out your central nervous system and your muscles just because you are so dialed in. Like you have such powerful contractions. I don't see how.
Yeah, you need the stronger you get, the more rest you need for your body to rebuild. You're breaking it down, and you need time to rebuild.
So and then how often would you squat?
Pardon me?
How often so you did
About every week, once a week.
Okay, and then what about on bench press?
Well, I did that once a week, benches once a week, and then auxiliary exercises also during other times during the week. Other than just to do the bench, I did other muscles that were associated with the bench press, and other muscles that were associated with the deadlift and squat.
And do you have any advice for people that are more of like longer arm? Because obviously you have long arms, helps you in deadlift, but it kills you in bench. But you actually had a great bench press too. So, do you have any advice to people that have really long arms, how they can become better bench pressers?
You got to be the best you can with your genetics. I mean, you got to build the chest. You got to work the shoulders. You got to work the triceps. Work the entire body. You got to be the best you can.
Definitely.
Some people are more, but you have to, be the best you can. And like, I'll never be a great basketball player, as I'm only 5'2". You got to do the best you can with your genetics.
Yeah. And was there anything in particular in bench press that seemed to work real well for you?
I love doing partials. What we did in partials, a lot of times some people did partials on a power rack, but I wanted to feel the weight, so we put phone books. You bring it down to one phone book, and then you have 2 phone. You know what I mean? We use phone books.
Oh, okay. So you kind of like start off higher, then work your way down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's progressive.
No, we'd work our way down with one phone up there. Then we put one phone book. Then you could do more weight. Then put two phone books on there. You know,
Yeah.
and actually you progress. The more weight you have, the more phone books you have, the more weight you use.
So it's like the precursor to board presses.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Well,
Okay.
you would use boards, but I've used boards, but I started off with phone books
Yeah.
for some reason. Yeah.
Did you do any kind of like pause squats or anything that kind of stuff in training ever?
We did pause squats sometime off the bottom of the pin. I tried
Ah.
box squats, but
Yeah.
I threw my back out that way for some reason. All the pressure on the vertebrae
Yeah.
threw my back out. Yeah, doing box squats. So I did. I'm not saying they're bad, but I didn't do them too much anymore because, when you're sitting on a bench with all that weight, then I threw my back out. So I just did partials, and I did the partials actually below parallel too. I would bring the weight down below parallel and come off after the dead stop and come up there.
So you did some squats where you're actually starting under the weight at the bottom, or would you take it
Yeah,
from the...
yeah.
Oh.
Yes, where you would go down to where you're below parallel and then come up from there too.
Yeah, that's a great way to... I bet you that helped your deadlift too, because all that starting power off the bottom, huh?
Actually, partial squats helped my deadlift more than it did my squat.
It makes sense because
Yeah.
the starting position of where your butt is similar,
Yeah.
the angle of your knee would make... Yeah, totally, that makes sense. So that makes
Partial
perfect...
squats really helped my deadlift.
Are we talking pretty heavy, or... Like, are you mean going... Like, what are we talking?
Oh, I used to do partial squats to make down to I forgot how high it was, but a few inches above parallel with I did 1,050 one time.
So you're going like 300 pounds over what you did in a competition?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. We used to really do a lot of weight in the partial squats.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't see people doing as much of anymore. Interesting. That sounds like it helped you a lot, though.
Yeah, there are different ways that they're like band training now and everything, which is great,
That wasn't even an option, though, huh? When you were doing it.
I did some learning about that, but it's, I didn't use it when I was competing.
So now what kind of clients are you primarily working with?
My clients now are high school athletes in every sport.
Oh.
And senior citizens. This, as I said, I think I told you before. One gentleman I was working with was 84 years old. He had trouble getting on. He was sort of weak, and I trained him for a year or so. And now he's really strong. In fact, when he was training, this gentleman brought his sons over who played high school basketball. And actually, this gentleman that was 84 was stronger and had more endurance than they did.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. That must have been tough to see if you're that high school kid.
Yeah.
84-year-old guys outlifting you.
Yeah.
So do you think because I've read a lot about you. So you think like you're kind of ace in the hole of what the one up you had on people was you understand the mental game and made a practice of that?
Yeah, Josh. There's so many different training routines out there. People get results of some seemingly opposite, methods of training.
Yeah.
But the prime is the prime common denominator in success is the mental attitude.
Yeah.
You got to allow things to happen. What I found, you have to train technique and everything and instill the technique in your mind. But when you're competing, you got to just allow it to happen. If you're analytical, that's going to take away from your performance. Like I've seen some guys that were competing, they're competing against this guy and they try to get his analytical mind into it. They say, "Hey, Josh, your form's off. What's wrong?" And you start thinking, "Hey, man, my form's off." And you start analyzing it, bringing your analytic mind into it, which would deter from your performance.
Yeah, it is sort of strange when you see, especially at a high level, somebody that at a powerlifting meet that's trying to make some sort of major technical change. I mean, it's kind of like you got
Yeah.
to lie in the bed you made at that point and just, it's time to do it after the meet. Work on that.
You have to work on it after the meet when you're training, not not when you're competing. And when you're competing, you have to go in there and just allow it to happen. You
Yeah.
have to allow it.
Basic.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. No, I want to hear what you say.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, basically, the way I'd look at it is you're kind of programming your subconscious mind consciously prior to the meet, and you're like programming all these habits and stuff into it, and then when it's meet day, you just gotta, or whatever sport you're doing, you just gotta let it happen. Like it's not
Oh
like,
yeah, definitely. Even in any sport, football, basketball, anything, you have to go in there. And when you're competing, you have to allow it. Just allow it.
yeah, like Mike Tyson was never thinking like, okay, I'm gonna put my left foot here and throw the punch this way. Just he's
Yeah,
trained
definitely
himself.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You can't do that. If you do that, I think it's going to deter your performance.
Yeah, and in a sport like boxing or something, your head, you get knocked out. But in powerlifting, you can do it. You're just gonna, like you said, you're gonna deter your performance.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
So with all these kind of like, you're talking about what we did earlier. So it's not a visualization. It's more like a mental movie because you're integrating different senses in what you had me do.
Yeah. See, you learn different ways. There's visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. You have to include all three of those modalities when you're trying to train the mind. You have to visualize. You got to feel, and you got to hear yourself being successful.
Well, I got a funny one. So I was getting ready for a big deadlift, and the guy I trained with, he used to chew like skull tobacco, like the chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting there getting ready, like you're talking about here, and I'm just like, what is that smell? And I was like, I'm smelling this stuff, but it's nowhere near, because I got that into it. I could like smell my training partners. He did this like straight long cut skull. Smelled like straight tobacco. I could just sit there and smell it. It was that real.
So sometimes like doing that or something that you eat, it stills the state of mind. When I won my first meet, I had a malt, vanilla malt.
Yeah.
And then before my contest, I had to have a vanilla malt. Not that it would help me any, but in the mind.
Yeah, it sets off a trigger.
I thought it was good luck, and it triggered it. It triggered the good luck.
Yeah. So
vanilla malt.
So with these like kind of mental rehearsals and stuff you're talking about, this is not like about strain or anything. It's about relaxation and kind of like how you had me relax right there. You're not trying to like,
Yeah. Oh, when you get it, you have to instill yourself being successful. You can't try to do it. You have to get into it. You have to be it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't try to achieve it. You have to be it. Be successful, not try to. You have to get into it and feel the success.
Yeah, like let it embody who you are.
I don't want to. I don't want to try feeling myself trying to make this lift. I want to feel myself being successful in making a lift, not trying to make a lift, being successful in the lift.
So with what you just did with me at the beginning of this, anybody could just play that back and use it themselves, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Just like
I sent you another. I sent dynamic spin release, which it's a different. I'm just learning it now. Instead of what you have to visualize yourself, feel yourself making the best lift of it, and put your hand out in front of you, and then which way is it spinning? Which way is it spinning? Is it going clockwise or counterclockwise? And increase the spin, and you'll actually feel it's increasing. Your feeling of success increasing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. What about the transcendental meditation? What was that like?
Transcendental meditation is just a form of meditation. You have a mantra, and you get into a relaxed state, you repeat the mantra, and it puts you in a relaxed state.
Is the mantra like something specific, like an affirmation? Like,
No, it was just like it's just a mantra, just like Om or
Okay,
whatever.
so it's not like a meaningful like.
No, it's not a meaningful. They when I took your transcendental meditation, they gave you a mantra. They gave me a mantra, and then for 20 minutes, I would repeat the mantra twice a day, and that would put you in a relaxed state and supposedly access that
Okay,
whatever you would conceive it to be.
gotcha. So yeah, because what do you think about affirmations?
Oh, affirmations are good too. They work. They're just their form of a mantra.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna send you. I gotta figure out how to send it from Audible, but that because I just sent the guy that read the book like the book, and he read it, and we recorded it and put it up there. So I gotta figure out how to send it to you. But anyways, that was one of the big things was the affirmations. Like I told you about one, earlier. When Steve Johnson was going through the American deadlift record, it was the thing of the 909. It said, I give myself permission to deadlift over 900 pounds.
Yeah, yeah,
And another one I told you about was as I close, another client was going to become the first person to bench, the youngest person to bench press 600 pounds. And it was, as I close the doors to 500 pounds, I open my door to 600. So you say the to depersonalize it, and the my to take ownership, because like I would personally never say, my problem, because that gives me ownership over the problem. I'd say like
yeah,
the problem is, the problem I'm dealing with is, and it's a truthful statement, but you know, like I don't take out my trash. I take out the trash, and I consider
yeah,
those problems
yeah.
are trash. They're not mine. They're the.
Another is accessing the universal force.
Yeah,
It's another. Instead of me trying, I try to access the universal force that will assist me in achieving what I want.
yeah. Can you explain that a little more? Like, what do you mean by that? If someone is, I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying, like people.
Yeah, access access that universal power. Try to get into it, try to access it, and try to draw the power from the universal force to help you achieve.
Like, do
It
you?
could be because we have limited ability to do it. We have physically, we have limited ability,
Yeah,
mentally, but there's so much out there that we don't know.
absolutely.
There's so many different, variables in that, but concepts. Everybody has different concepts of the universal force. But I think when you try to access that positive universal force, you draw into all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at even like the Bible, it starts out in the beginning. God created the heavens, and the earth, and created man in His own image. So it's sort of interesting that like He's saying there's this creative power there, and then He created man in His image. So you kind of do the math there and think, okay, you know, if that
We're yeah.
I got that in me.
Oh yeah, we have that in there. But if we, like for example, I told you in 1978 was in Turku, Finland, when I hurt my back so bad I couldn't even hardly walk.
Tell everybody about that. That's a great story.
Yeah, I went in Turku, Finland. I was squatting and I hurt my back so bad I could hardly walk. So I could hardly warm up with 400 pounds in the back. And
Yeah,
I forgot what I did, a little over 700 pounds, an opening attempt, and I needed the gentleman that I was competing against from
yeah.
Finland. He pulled a 749, which was you know one of his best, and he thought he had won because I couldn't hardly walk. So I asked the coach what I needed. Uh, I needed a world record, 8:15. Could I have done? So I went back and I actually, if you want to, the term access the universal force, got into it and it allowed it to happen. And physically, I probably couldn't have been able to do it if I'd have tried to do it. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to do,
Yeah, you were in the zone
the,
though.
so I went in a zone and I actually accessed the, whatever you want to call it, the universal force, and it allowed me to pull that 8:15 and win.
So you're like in another realm there.
You were in another realm. I have no idea. I can't even remember going on there and doing the pull.
Well, it's sort of funny. It's like you're operating. It's like you're operating from like like just a standpoint of like pure intention and love. Like you just love what you're doing. You have one intention. Like it's like a white zone that you can't do anything else.
Yeah,
You know nothing that can stop you. It's just there's only like, you know, what you can do, and you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, there are no obstacles. And if there are, you overcome them.
I think the one thing is abandon the ego.
It's,
Success in anything
Fred Hatfield used to bring that up all the time.
is abandon your ego. When your ego puts limitations on you.
It does.
If when I was deadlifting there, I say, well, when I had to pull that 850, I said, Vincent can't do that. I can't. You know, I'm gonna. You know, what if I pulled it? You know, I couldn't. I had to abandon my ego and go out there and allow it to happen.
Yeah, because your ego just limits you, like of everything, like what you can do. You know,
Yeah.
all it does is place limits on you, because it's telling you you're going to look stupid if you do something to this next level, if you don't succeed.
I want to tell you a story. It's a different. When I was training at Vince's gym.
Yeah.
This gentleman that came, I forgot his name, but he was into mental training also.
Okay.
He was a mixed martial arts, you know, martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in California. He had fought the world champion back in the day to a draw.
Okay.
He had fought him to a draw, and he was really, and people actually knew we trained there. Then we all went out to eat. From the gym, we all went out to eat.
Okay.
And we went to this place. It was a bar, and some of the guys were drunk, and they knew who he was. So they came up to him. They says, "Oh man, I could probably kick your butt." And he looked at him and very nonchalant. He says, "Yeah, you probably could." And he could have killed him with one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we talked about that too. He abandoned the ego. They made fun of him. They used try to insult him and everything. And he says, They said, yeah. He said, "Yeah, you're right. You know, you probably could kick my butt."
And that's what you did, like, you think, in your training, or what? In your
No, it's just to show you how what abandon the ego is. Abandon your, you know. That's what I did when I was lifting. You know,
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Because that if you you espouse this concept, you know, on social media or something, you'd probably be thought like you're crazy, because, you know, when people are not going to lift if their camera's not working because they want to take selfies and videos of themselves. To say this now, it's like we're like kind of polar opposite of what, you know, most people, you know, think. So
I gotta learn that too. Abandon the ego, and you know, because I have a temper sometimes. I have to learn to get rid of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is ego, you know, because sometimes I get mad. I have that bad Italian temper sometimes. And I have to learn to, you know, just, you know.
Well, outside of lifting, what are some? I know you like rescue dogs and things like that.
Oh yeah, we've been rescuing greyhounds since 2000. We volunteer there, and anybody that trains with me and has a rescue, we donate 20% to the greyhound rescue of their choice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there a reason greyhound over other dogs? I mean, why is that your favorite breed?
Oh, we just got into greyhounds because they're, you know, racing dogs, and sometimes it was very sad. Sometimes what they would do, they put them down after they got through racing, and sometimes some people would actually tape their mouths shut and all that.
Jeez.
It was really bad sometimes. You know, I'm not saying they all do that, because there are people we know are great at greyhound rescues, you know. You know, but some people that we've heard did that, you know.
Yeah, best dog I've ever had is a rescue dog. So,
you know, all our dogs are, you know, they all were racers, and you know, are up the track. Now they were racers. Now they're couch potatoes. They sleep with us in bed.
I'm not surprised after what you showed me earlier. What about other sports? Did you train? I mean, did you have an athletic background, or just get into lifting? Or
yeah. I was a wrestler in high school.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I was a boxer. I had my nose broken in a Golden Gloves fight.
So you're saying you deadlifting over 800 pounds, Golden Gloves boxer and a wrestler. I mean, that may not be the best thing. Yeah, that may not be the best thing with a temper, huh?
No, I play football too.
Okay.
Yeah, I was athletic, and in fact, in high school, I was really at the, when I used to make weight, I was thrown out of uh, English class a few times for trying to make. I would sit in the back and spit in a cup to make weight. And so the teacher said, what do you?" I said, "Yeah, I have to make weight. That's more important than, you know, learning English, isn't it?" Which I'm not saying that, but I used to do that. I was a big jock in high school.
Well, speaking of making weight, in your powerlifting records, so this is not to downplay anything going on today, but people do need to know the difference. So these are like 2-hour weigh-ins, correct?
Oh yeah, about hour and 15 minutes, I believe it was.
Okay. Point being, now
What?
people can like cut weight, get 24 hours, then use an IV to get their weight back up and all that stuff. So it's, a world record. When you've done all that, it's going to be easier to hit at a lighter weight than if you have to, basically weigh in and start warming up.
I used one technique get my weight back up. After I dehydrate, used one. I would eat Reese cups and, and water. I was really addicted to Reese cups. I still am.
That's funny. So, what about bulking up? Didn't you eat? Were you eating like a half gallon of ice cream or something before you go to sleep?
Oh yeah. When I had to get my weight up for the 220-pound class before bedtime, I eat a half gallon of butter pecan ice cream.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that was easy.
So you're somebody that had to work to put on weight then?
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but the flip side is, you're doing this to set world records in powerlifting, not for general fitness and health, I would agree, though. It's not the healthiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Was your nutrition pretty dialed in for the most part, though, when you're competing?
Yeah, when I was competing, especially when I was competing, when I would go from powerlifting to bodybuilding, I wouldn't change my workouts. I just changed the diet.
And yeah, it's similar like Ronnie Coleman was saying. So interesting. So how do you train now?
Oh, what I do is my main thing now. I accomplish what I want to do is mainly for health. I train my clients. I'm actually active all day. I do aerobics with my clients.
Yeah.
And I'm actually active all day. A lot of aerobics. I do hours and hours of aerobics now.
You must still lift though. You look like you got a lot of muscle still.
Oh yeah, I still lift. I have a method of training now to build muscle that really works.
Tell us about it.
Okay, it's doing one set to failure.
Okay.
I concentrate on all three forms of contraction.
Mm-hmm.
A slow positive, an isometric hold. And actually, with the isometric hold, I also do pulses. To really contract the muscles that I do a slow negative, and I actually go to failure. Okay. It's a short workout, but it keeps me, my size. If you see my size in some of that.
Yeah.
It keeps my size at 72 years old.
And how often do you train this way? Like, how often do you lift now?
I do actually aerobics every day, Josh. But the weight training about 3 times a week.
And so with the personal training, what kind of services are you offering though? Because I'm sure people will be interested in hearing about this. So you said you do Skype sessions, things like that? Mental training? I do Skype sessions, yeah. Mental training on Skype. I do mental training on Skype. I do physical training on Skype. I can train anybody in every environment because I've been training people since 1968. I train in their homes. I've trained people at different gyms, So that's 51 years of experience. 51 years, yeah. Yeah. So what we can do at the bottom of this for everybody is we can put a link, so then you can see, you can get with. We'll have your website there, and then anybody that wants to email you can get in touch and take it from there. But I think that's really cool because. Like I'll just say this, a lot of the hypnosis training and stuff I've done is been on Skype. So I've done a lot of, at first it was all at the office. The hypnotist moved So I was a little skeptical about the Skype, but
Yeah.
there's been absolutely no difference in the effect. It's worked just as well because I first, like I mentioned in our previous conversation, I learned about hypnosis from I was having issues sleeping, and
Yeah, you were saying.
tried all Ambien, all this crap wouldn't work. Within 3 days of the hypnosis session, and telling myself it was it was easy and natural for me to get a full night's rest, and that's all I said.
Yeah.
It's easy and natural for me to get a full night's rest, and I just said that over and over and over again. And within 3 nights, it was easy and natural for me to get a full night's rest.
I told you when I first started hypnosis is when I had my wisdom tooth pulled.
Yeah, you said the hypnotist dentist, right?
Yeah. I've used hypnosis on clients and that, and generally I did it. This one time to demonstrate hypnosis, I hypnotized this gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a water in a bottle, and I told him it was a strong alcohol. It was really strong, and he got drunk on it. Josh, he got drunk on drinking the water, and it was just water, and he thought it was alcohol.
Oh, I believe it. There, in what Richard Wiseman's book, I don't remember which one it was. I think it might have been As If. He was talking about an experiment they did in England that was like they got half the people to get. They took a bunch of people to a bar, and like the people, say with the yellow cups, they got placebo alcohol.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
people the red, and then they're basically everybody's acting drunk by the end of the night, no matter what they were actually drinking.
Vince Lubowicki, who I started training with, he showed me he got me into mental training also. He did mental training with me too.
What was his techniques?
It's sort of like a hypnosis, but he brought this bottle. It had pills in it. He said, "Here, take these pills." So I thought, "Oh my God, it's gonna make me strong." It's my
Yeah.
first. So I started taking the pills, and well, I got strong. And then he says, "Why don't we tell you what it is?" He says, "It's B12." B12. When I found out what it was, my strength didn't increase anymore. Because I thought he was giving me a pill to really help my strength.
Yeah.
But the pill was nothing but B12. So he showed me the placebo effect.
Have you seen that experiment from like back in the 60s? This would never fly nowadays, but like when they gave some people like sugar pills and other people Dianabol, and the people actually made pretty similar gains?
That is, yeah, definitely. If you think you're going to get strength out of something, you're going to.
Yeah, because I mean, you think about it, even if like, just like the mindset of somebody, obviously it works or people wouldn't do it, but if you think about it, somebody just, in their mind, I'm breaking the law now, I'm piercing my skin with a syringe, blah, blah, blah. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
to them, they're like taking this next step that most people wouldn't do. And, then by default, they're going to like, I'm going to eat better. I'm going to get sleep. I'm doing something else. And
yeah.
it's like a synergy for gains. A lot of times it's like you said, it's just, had you put like, something a placebo in that syringe,
Yeah.
it probably would have been pretty dang similar gains.
Oh, another thing. Speaking of, we thought that we were when I won the nationals in
Mm-hmm.
California, I was eating liver. So I thought, oh my God, this liver's. So I used to eat raw liver.
That's a lot of old time bodybuilders though, huh?
Yeah.
That's the other,
I thought, oh my God. I used to get these desiccated liver tablets.
Yeah.
And eat that. And then I used to even eat raw liver. We used to sit there and eat raw liver.
That's a different Vince Gironda. He was really
Vince
in
Gironda, yeah.
desiccated liver pills and
Desiccated liver tablets, but probably it did. It tasted like crap. But we sit there and chew. Yeah, but.
yeah, that was like that would be. You know what? I need to do that. Look in like the Google Scholar in the literature and see if there's any studies on that. I'd be very interested to know if anybody's done any studies on that, because everything you hear about it's from like 1970 and before Strength and Health magazine. There was like no studies on this stuff. It was just like Reg Park says it works, so let's try it type of thing.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty cool. So I know you got to take your dogs out. Anything else you want to cover?
Anything else you think about?
No, I think this is very helpful to people though.
Good, good, good,
I
good,
think
good.
people are going to like this, and like I said, we'll put your contact information if anybody wants to, because I feel like, this is like you're touching on a realm that not a lot of people touch on. I think it's to be helpful to people. So,
Speaking of mantras and stuff. Before I go, we're talking about mantras. I sent you that link to Hopopono or whatever.
yeah.
He said you could help other people like that too. So my one dog wasn't feeling well, so I used that mantra on my dog. You know what? It seemed to help him.
Really?
Whether because he said you're contacting universal force. I don't know. Who
Well,
knows?
it may be even simpler than that. It could be the dog just like senses like the caring, positive energy and like uplifting spirit. Because I don't remember what the term is on this, but like with kids, I know that and there's actually research on it, like if parents, like if you tell your kid good job, but you don't really mean it, like they can sense your level of excitement. So like I just took my son to baseball practice. If I don't even like baseball. I'm glad he likes it, but
Yeah.
I act super excited. I am excited because he's doing it, but that would not be like my first choice of a sport. And but if you just they can tell when you're genuinely excited or not.
Yeah.
And I wonder if like I always say dogs and children are real good judges of character. Like when every time a dog freaks out, they're actually usually making a pretty good observation. So are kids.
Yeah. They did some research and they said one thing that makes animals live longer if you give it love.
I would totally believe that.
Like all my dogs, I give them all the love I can. You know, it really helps.
It totally helps.
It really helps.
Well, yeah. So you, one last thing. Did you know for Dr. Fred Hatfield very well? Because I didn't know if I
Oh
mentioned.
yeah, Fred Hatfield. I was on a team with him. He was a good friend of mine. A great guy.
He spoke really highly of you. So like, to give you a quick
Great guy.
backstory is him and I basically. So what he did is I did a bodybuilding certification for ISSA, his certification group.
Yeah.
I knew Sal, the other owner. I didn't know Fred very well. I just read all his stuff, and Fred was he would check over the text. I'd send him stuff, and so we made friends that way, and he was super helpful and stuff. But anyways, we ended up doing some seminars for right before till literally he died. We were supposed to go to Denmark 6 days later.
Wow.
But from like 2015 through 2017, we did like 30 seminars together.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and he spoke very highly of you.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Yeah, he really liked you and thought you were a smart guy and had nothing but good things to say. So
Yeah.
just want to pass that along.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, Josh.
All right. Thanks, Vince.
Okay, thank you. And send me the copy of that. I want to see it on YouTube.
Okay. Very good.
I'd like to see it. It was an honor you with this interview.
I feel the same way. I really appreciate it. I will let you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Vince. See you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.